Okay, this is the solution video to Quadratics Functions Quiz, a little mini quiz from slackmath.com. First question is regarding vertex of the quadratic function y equals 4x squared plus 5x minus 1. So the vertex runs through the axis of symmetry. It has this equation, x equals the opposite b over 2a. In this case, b is 5. And a is 4. So you have negative 5/8 is the x value. So because negative 5/8, we can cross off a and c. Now for the remainder, you can go about different ways. But by plugging in the x value into the original function and evaluating that, I'm going to do this kind of quickly on a calculator here. I don't know if you can see a little bit. Okay, so we've got 4 times negative 5/8 squared plus 5 times negative 5/8 minus 1, negative 2.56. So we go to, how we can put this fraction decimal. Negative 41/16, which is D. Right there. Okay, 2. What are the roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 5x plus 2? So roots, there's different ways to solve this, but I am going to factor this quadratic equation, if it is factorable, and this one I believe is. So you have 2x times x, two values multiplied to 2, positive 2, with the middle term of negative 5x, so we know those both have to be negative. So it's either 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. 2 and 1 give you a 4x when you multiply back and a 1x combined to negative 5. Each of these factors has an associated root, 1/2 and 2, which is choice D. Number 3. What is the x-coordinate of the vertex? So the x is simply, that's a matter of negative b over 2a. It's really just asking you what the axis of symmetry is. So you've got the opposite of 12 divided by 2 times 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3, negative 3. Choice B. Okay, the root of the quadratic function y equals, number 4. The root of the quadratic function y equals negative x squared minus 8.39x minus 7.62, with the least value is. Now for this one, this is not going to be factorable. In my class we haven't gone through the quadratic formula yet, but we have done a little bit with graphing utilities. So what I'm going to do is graph this function. I like Desmos. My students tend to like that too. So y equals negative x squared minus 8.39x minus 7.62. So I'm just kind of typing that in. And a nice feature with Desmos is you can click on kind of critical or interesting values. When you graph this, you get a parabola here. You've got a vertex, and then you've got 2 roots. And in this case, we're looking for the root with the least value. So this one here is negative 7.35, comma 0 is the ordered pair. So negative 7.35 is the root. This is another one, negative 1.04, I believe. Yep. Which is D. That's right here, but that's of course greater than this root. So the leftmost root is the least root with the least value. So that is choice B. Problem 5. The function 15x minus x squared models the area of a rectangular garden with a width of x feet. So what is the width that provides the maximum area of the garden? So maximum area, you've got 15, 0, and you've got 0, 0 for the two roots. And you've got this value, which is exactly halfway in the middle, 7.5, comma 56.25. So you may be tempted to choose 56.25. That is the maximum area, but it is not the maximum, the width that provides the maximum area. That is this, 7.5. At 7.5 feet, you get a maximum area of 56.25 feet squared. So that was kind of a trick question there. Trick answer. Number 6. The function of negative h of t equals negative 0.23 t squared plus 4.14 t plus 4.89 represents the flight path of a ball thrown from a ladder, where the height is measured in meters, given by h of t. So you've got 4.89 is the y-intercept. That's the constant, 0, 4.89. And eventually it hits the ground. Now, t is the horizontal axis. T is how many seconds the ball is in the air. So at a certain amount of time, you've got these outputs. Now at this point, at 19.11, 0, you have a root of this function. That root represents the amount of time when the ball has a height of 0, which is when it hits the ground. If you use a graphing utility, you can see some other parts of the parabola kind of come and go. But once the height is less than 0, it's negative. And we also would probably assume in a problem like this that time is always going to be positive. So when from time t equals 0 and on. So 19.11 seconds. 23.52 you can see as like the vertex, the y value of the vertex. That's the height in meters at the maximum. So that's a little bit different. Okay, 19.11. And that's the last question.